complain of this. I thought that in her question to the Foreign Secretary, she snapped at him.
For decades, Nicholas SS, the grandson of Winston Churchill, has stood by King Charles, but now SS has finally broken his silence, unleashing harsh criticisms of the king's leadership. Could this be an act of betrayal? This mind-blowing revelation could shake the very foundations of Charles's reign. Join us as we dive into the details of SS. Unexpected words. Nicholas SS Arthur Nicholas Winston SS, born in Cuden on February 12, 1958, has had an impressive journey in British politics due to his commitment to serving the public and protecting the nation. He grew up in a family with strong ties to public service. Being the eldest child of Sir Christopher SS and Dame Mary SS, he was instilled with the principles of leadership and responsibility from a young age, which influenced his career in the military and government. SS was educated at St Albans Preparatory School in Sussex before moving on to Eton College, a highly respected institution in the UK. His experience at Eton helped shape his views on duty and serving the community. Upon finishing his education, he decided to join the military by enrolling at Mon Officer Cadet School in 1967. SS joined the 11th Hussar, a renowned cavalry team in the British Bree military. He was deployed to West Germany and the UK, where he learned about defense strategies and leadership firsthand. His time in the military greatly impacted his views on national security and defense policies as he grew older. Even though he retired from active duty in 1975, his military experience continued to play a significant role in shaping his professional path. After completing his time in the military, SS moved into civilian jobs that offered him a variety of professional experiences. In 1972, he had a brief stint as a stockbroker, which provided him with valuable insights into the financial industry. From 1974 to 1976, he worked as a personal assistant to Sir James Goldsmith, a renowned financier, and later to U.S. Senator Mark Hatfield. These positions exposed him to both the corporate world and global politics. SS continued to broaden his skill set by taking on leadership roles in the business sector, such as serving as a director at Bland Welch Lloyd's insurance brokerage firm, and later as an assistant director at the Sedgwick Group, another prominent insurance brokerage company. In 1983, SS made his foray into politics by winning the seat as the Conservative Member of Parliament for Crawley. This marked the start of a successful and impactful political journey for him. SS dedicatedly represented the people of Crawley as their MP until 1997, earning a reputation as a committed public servant. After electoral boundaries were redrawn, he secured the position of MP for Mid Sussex in 1997, which he retained until stepping down in 2019. Throughout his lengthy time in Parliament, SS gained the trust and admiration of the people he represented. During his tenure in public service, SS occupied a number of significant ministerial roles. In the years 1992 to 1994, he assumed the position of Parliamentary Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, contributing to the development of agricultural policy. Subsequently, he was designated as Minister of State for the Armed Forces between 1994 and 1997 in the administration of Prime Minister John Major. During this period, his focus was on defense issues, drawing from his extensive military background. His time in office coincided with crucial deliberations on military modernization and the evolving role of the British Armed Forces in the global arena. Apart from his duties as a minister, SS was recognized for his firm beliefs regarding national security, foreign relations, and defense matters. He was commonly seen as a classic conservative, supporting a robust military and upholding Britain's standing in the world. His speeches in Parliament frequently emphasized his steadfast commitment to protecting the sanctity of establishments and safeguarding national concerns. SS had a lasting impact on British politics right up until his departure from Parliament in 2019. Despite leaving the political arena, his perspective on defense governance and public affairs continued to have a significant influence on political discourse. But how did a man with such a remarkable background become one of the king's closest friends? What is the secret behind the strong bond between them? The bond forged over Decades Nicholas SS and King Charles III have built a deep friendship based on unwavering loyalty and a shared sense of responsibility. Their connection has evolved over the course of more than 60 years, shaped by their mutual respect and shared life experiences, starting in their younger days and growing stronger through various personal and public challenges. Arthur Nicholas Winston SS, born in 1948, is the grandson of the legendary Sir Winston Churchill, who was a prominent figure in British history. Raised in a family with a strong tradition of serving the public, SES was immersed in the world of British aristocracy and the royal family. His childhood shaped his beliefs in duty and accountability, which closely mirrored the principles of the future monarch. In 1970, SS first met Prince Charles when he became an equerry to the Prince of Wales. An equerry is tasked with providing personal assistance to a royal family member, and this role demands traits like discretion, loyalty, and constant communication. SS continued serving as equerry until 1972, during which period he and Charles formed a strong and lasting bond. The beginning of the 1970s shaped both men in significant ways. Prince Charles was learning to fulfill his duties as the next in line for the throne, while SS was moving from the military to positions within the royal household and elsewhere. The bond between them was established during this time through shared experiences, fostering a connection based on trust and mutual assistance. Their bond went beyond just work, crossing over into their personal lives. They both enjoyed similar things and regularly talked openly about the difficulties and demands that came with their job. This close relationship gave them someone to confide in and relate to the specific stresses they experienced in their roles. One of the most memorable occasions that showcased their strong connection was the marriage of SS in 1981. In June of that year, SS tied the knot with Catherine Wetherill at St. Margaret's Church in London. Prince Charles paid tribute to their close friendship by standing as SS' best man, which symbolized the strength of their bond. The wedding was graced by influential personalities such as Lady Diana Spencer, who would go on to marry Prince Charles shortly after. This action went beyond just being a formality. It more to this, the attack on Diana. Nicholas SS did not hide his dislike for Princess Diana. He was always a strong supporter of Charles, but he treated Diana with disrespect, often being cold and even cruel towards her. He viewed her not as someone trapped in a troubled marriage, but as someone who was causing trouble within the royal family, an outsider who did not understand the duties that came with her position. According to him, Diana should have been aware of the expectations placed on her due to her noble background. While married to Charles, Diana shared with her friends that she felt confined under constant surveillance and possibly being manipulated by members of the royal family. The demands of being royalty, along with her realization of Charles's ongoing affair with Camilla Parker B.S., made her feel more and more alone. However, when she attempted to vocalize these concerns, SS was among those quick to ridicule and dismiss them. In 1995, he became extremely hostile towards Diana after her groundbreaking interview with journalist Martin Basher on Panorama. During the interview, Diana candidly talked about her problems in her marriage, her suspicion of palace staff plotting against her, and notably mentioned that there were 3 people in her marriage, making it crowded. This bold mention of Charles's relationship with Camilla caused a stir within the royal family. One claim made by Diana that particularly angered SS was her belief that palace insiders were watching and controlling her instead of showing empathy or investigating her worries. SS publicly declared her statements as absurd. He even insinuated that Diana was paranoid and that her fears were unfounded. His comments were initially interpreted as a strong show of support for Charles and the monarchy, aimed at suppressing rumors and shielding the future king from scandal. However, his reaction went beyond just a calculated move to control the narrative. It was driven by personal emotions. Those in SS' inner circle later disclosed that he was deeply upset by the disintegration of Charles and Diana's marriage. Having served as Charles's best man in 1981, he had stood by his side during the wedding to the woman who was expected to ensure the longevity of the monarchy. When the marriage unraveled into one of the royal family's most intense crises, SS viewed it as a personal betrayal. In the heat of his anger, he launched a ruthless harm on Diana, aiming to completely undermine her Instead of simply doubting her statements, he went as far as portraying her as mentally unbalanced. SS implied that her allegations were fictional, possibly a result of paranoia, aligning with the palace's portrayal of Diana as challenging, unpredictable, and not fit for royalty. He saw himself as the rational one, disregarding her as a troubled individual fabricating lies to tarnish Charles's image. However, with the passage of time, it became evident to the public that Diana's concerns were justified. It was revealed that her activities had been closely monitored, her phone conversations intercepted, and her suspicions about palace interference were validated. Past employees and those with insider knowledge confirmed that Diana's worries were well-founded. She was not being paranoid, she was correct. Notwithstanding this, SS never took back his words. He continued to stand by his opinion that Diana had done lasting harm to Charles and the monarchy. Despite revelations about her mistreatment, he refused to admit that she had a valid reason to speak out. His allegiance to Charles remained unwavering regardless of the consequences, despite going to great lengths to defend Charles even at the cost of his reputation. SS stirred up public reaction again when he this time attacked Charles in public, revealing shocking details about him breaking the silence after Diana died in 1997. The entire world was grieving. The immense sorrow felt was unprecedented, with countless people holding the royal family responsible for her mistreatment. Despite some of Charles's supporters showing compassion and regret, SS did not publicly acknowledge her passing. He stood loyal to Charles, defending him against attacks and saying little about the woman who used to be his close friend's spouse. His anger was simmering in private. Despite his outward appearance of loyalty, those close to SS alleged that he harbored resentment towards Charles for his handling of his marriage. SS believed that Charles had committed serious errors, starting with his emotional distance and then his affair with Camilla. Behavior had led Diana towards a road of sorrow, shame, and ultimately ruin. Being someone who had supported Charles during the wedding, having faith in their union and its importance, this was a harsh truth to acknowledge. Despite his personal sentiments, SS never publicly turned against Charles. He steadfastly remained loyal even during times when Charles's image was tarnished. SS consistently supported the prince, disregarding any negative feedback and staying by the future king's side throughout his marriage to Camilla. The harm had already been inflicted. SS' cruel actions towards Diana had a lasting impact on how he would be remembered. By positioning himself as a severe critic of hers, he was seen more as a heartless figure than a loyal supporter. His efforts to defend Charles led to a portrayal of Diana as unstable rather than a victim of injustice. Despite the passage of time and the progression of the royal family, SS' remarks regarding Diana remained ingrained in people's memories. His statements during the Panorama controversy served as a representation of the animosity Diana encountered from those trying to silence her. Though he may have thought he was serving the monarchy's best interests, he is now remembered as one of Diana's strongest opponents, someone whose dedication to the crown overshadowed his empathy. Nicholas S.'s outspoken defense of then Prince Charles during his troubled marriage to Princess Diana raised many questions about his motivations. Was he acting out of genuine loyalty to his friend, or was there a strategic reason behind his remarks? The weight of loyalty. SS and Charles have been friends for many years, with their relationship based on loyalty and a mutual past. SS, who once served as an equerry to the prince, was not just a staff member but also a trusted companion, offering assistance during Charles's toughest moments. Their connection was solid and went beyond their official roles. SS held a great admiration for the future monarch, and it is probable that this bond played a role in his choice to publicly support Charles during the turbulent period of his marriage to Diana. During the height of the Charles and Diana scandal, SS publicly rejected Diana's accusations of betrayal, dubbing her as paranoid. He insinuated that her worries were blown out of proportion, causing outrage among Diana's advocates. But what motivated SS to defend his stance so boldly? His unwavering support for the monarchy could possibly stem from his family background, as he is descended from Winston Churchill. SS may have viewed it as his responsibility to safeguard the royal institution, especially the heir to the throne, from any potential scandals. It is probable that he perceived Charles's reputation to be in jeopardy and felt it was essential to publicly defend him even if it meant undermining Diana's self-interest could have been a contributing factor as well. SS, who had long-standing connections with the royal family, may have been protecting his position within the inner circle by supporting Charles. By standing up for Charles, he was guaranteeing his continued strong relationship with the future king, which was essential for him to retain his influence in these elite circles. However, it wasn't only SS' personal reasons that influenced his words. The 1990s marked a period where public opinions towards the monarchy were changing. The royal family, once highly respected and beyond reproach, was now under intense examination. The public was demanding openness and accountability from public figures, including the royal family. SS comments regarding Diana were possibly made in an effort to manage the situation and shield Charles from additional scrutiny. Nevertheless, his words ended up backfiring. Instead of calming the suspicions, they provoked public anger. Years later, SS remarks regarding Charles and Diana have resurfaced at a time when the monarchy is facing increased scrutiny. Now that King Charles is reigning, every aspect of his past is being reevaluated, not only by historians but also by a new generation unfamiliar with the drama of his marriage to Diana. The treatment of Diana by Charles remains a controversial topic that continues to shape his public perception. Individuals like SS, who stood up for Charles and criticized his detractors, are now coming under scrutiny themselves. Once an influential figure, SS is now facing backlash, with his unwavering allegiance to Charles being viewed by some as a relic of outdated aristocratic values. SS' controversial statement, in which he implied responsibility for her demise, has stirred up interest among royal observers and historians. Some speculate whether this was an acknowledgement of wrongdoing on Charles's part. Others believe it was simply the words of a man deeply hurt by the end of a marriage he once had faith in. At the moment, SS was filled with rage, enraged by Diana's public statements, angry at the media for supporting her, and frustrated by what he perceived as the disintegration of everything he had strived to safeguard. His allegiance to Charles had clad his ability to think clearly, and in his fury he uttered a comment that would later come back to haunt him. SS' words confirmed the suspicions of many that the royal family mistreated Diana, leading to her tragic end. Some viewed it as an emotional outburst from a man who once believed in the royal system but witnessed its downfall. The impact of SS' words was unforeseen and would echo through time. SS has broken his silent streak to express remorse after a long time. The descendant of Winston Churchill has come clean about his mistake, admitting he was unaware of the repercussions of his words. This is a rare instance of S showing regret, as he has always stood by King Charles. Now ruling, he must carry the burden of previous scandals, and SS' statements, especially about Diana's psychological well-being, have the potential to influence the public perception of both him and the monarchy. Over the years, Charles has made efforts to transform into a kind and contemporary ruler, moving away from the controversies that plagued his earlier years. However, each time an old problem resurfaces, it highlights the challenging legacy the monarchy is still dealing with. Diana's hardships, her turbulent relationship with Charles, and how the media depicted her as a victim of royal mistreatment have always been debated subjects. SS' endeavor to support Charles and discredit Diana's assertions only reignites these issues in the public eye. A lot of people who have supported Diana for a long time might see SS' comments as part of a larger trend of disrespect by trying to diminish Diana's worries as just paranoia. SS may be adding to the belief that the royal family has consistently overlooked or belittled the challenges faced by its members, especially Diana. This perpetuates the ongoing conflict between the monarchy and those who see Diana as a figure of tragedy. SS' efforts to retract his words have sparked renewed curiosity about Diana's suffering and brought up concerns about how the monarchy treated her. SS' words have the potential to influence the views of the public, especially among the younger population who may not have experienced the events of Charles and Diana's marriage. With Charles in a position of power, bringing up past issues could hinder his efforts to create the legacy he hopes for. The consequences of his previous errors continue to linger, and any action that appears to overlook or minimize Diana's pain only adds to the challenges faced by the monarchy in the eyes of the public. SS' remarks may not only impact how the public perceives him, but could also lead to repercussions within the royal family throughout history. The family has valued loyalty and discretion highly, and SS' strong support of Charles, along with his subsequent regret, might hint at past rifts within the family, as efforts to retract his statements could be interpreted as admitting fault or wanting to separate himself from a controversial period in royal history. This could potentially increase conflicts within the royal family. The way Charles rules may be influenced by how the family deals with previous errors and explores the intricate connection between public figures and their personal pasts. If SS' behavior is viewed as a continuation of protecting the monarchy regardless of the consequences, it might worsen relationships among individuals in the royal circle who are pushing for more openness and responsibility. Charles, who has dedicated a significant portion of his life to handling public relations and maneuvering through his intricate interactions with the media, finds SS' comments introducing a new level of intricacy to his reign as a monarch. Charles must juggle the burden of his past experiences with the demands of his current position. Any mention of Diana's challenges, particularly when it involves individuals like SS who had a close relationship with Charles during that period, poses the danger of resurrecting past grievances in the eyes of the public. The attention on SS statements, as well as the ongoing discussions surrounding Diana's treatment, could shape how Charles handles his role as king. He might sense the need to directly confront these lingering issues by providing a more transparent narrative of the past, or by implementing measures to separate his reign from its problematic history. This situation presents a fine line between upholding the monarchy's customs and addressing the wounds from previous errors. SS did not just speak in support of Charles. His words represented how Diana's challenges Charles remaining a devoted confidant despite the public attention on the royal family and the challenges of contemporary monarchy. SS' loyalty faced a new challenge when Prince Harry started to openly criticize the royal family. His memoir Spare and numerous public interviews sparked controversy and negative remarks about King Charles. SS did not shy away from defending his friend, strongly condemning Harry's remarks as disturbing and unkind. In an uncommonly public declaration, SS voiced his view that Harry's statements were a betrayal to the family. He confidently declared that Harry should feel ashamed for attacking his father in such a way. SS' character was showcased in this instance as steadfast, courageous, and fiercely defensive despite changing public perceptions and increasing tensions within the royal family. SS steadfastly supported Charles. Although his history with Diana was complex, SS' commitment to Charles never faltered. Friendship and loyalty were esteemed by SS as matters of dignity, not easily forsaken or influenced by remorse or external pressure. However, the true meaning of this loyalty is still unclear. Could it showcase the strong foundation of their friendship, demonstrating that genuine connections can endure even the most hurtful acts of disloyalty, or does it signify an antiquated allegiance to the monarchy that Diana struggled to break free from, an allegiance that consistently values the family above individual pain and honesty? SS' behavior in the past and now begs the question of whether supporting the monarchy is more important than showing mercy to those who go against it. When SS criticized Diana's difficulties within the royal family, some viewed it as a betrayal of his bond with Charles. His public comments on Diana's troubled marriage prompted debate on the value of loyalty towards a friend versus being honest. The concept of loyalty in the inner circle of the monarchy has always been intricate. It has the power to unite individuals, yet it can also compel them to suppress their suffering in order to uphold the institution. The interplay between personal loyalty and the obligations of public service frequently presents ethical quandaries, particularly when the actions of the royal family are being closely examined. Ultimately, the British royal family remains strong despite facing controversies and difficulties. SS' unwavering support for Charles, regardless of the complexities involved, will greatly influence how they are perceived in history as Charles works on establishing his reputation. The important issue arises: is it acceptable for loyalty to excuse cruel behavior? Additionally, is defending a friend unconditionally honorable, or does it involve being complicit in a system that values staying quiet over telling the truth? SS' constant backing may have guided Charles during challenging periods, yet it has also sparked debates about the boundaries of loyalty